Well, the Buckeye football season may be over, but we all know for Ohio State fans, it never really ends, right?
It's a year-round sport.
Yeah.
Head coach Ryan Day and the Buckeyes are back at it, already focused on next season. And 10 TV's Dom Tiberi, 97.1 The Fans, Bobby Carpenter. Join us on what will be a very busy offseason.
You know, Bobby Carpenter, my take is this. Life goes on, and while it was a disappointing loss, that was then, this is now, and the sun came up, and the Buckeyes now, everything has to be about next season now.
Dom, I think we talked about after the game, there's no funerals in football, and so it moves fast. They get back from the Cotton Bowl, all of a sudden you're looking around, you've got the transfer portal opening up, trying to retain your guys, trying to figure out what players you need to bring in, what holes to fill, who's going to be going pro. So this roster management situation has changed dramatically, and so they have to get the calendar figured out a little bit better, but the work is never done for Ryan Day and that staff.
Yeah, there is no off time when it comes to college football. You have some in the NFL, you got some, but the days of having off time in college football is over and long gone, and maybe some changes down the road would fix it. All right, let me ask you about this. The playoff. I mean, I'm glad we have a playoff, but I think they've got to tinker with it. 1-7. That are the record of the teams that had byes. Indiana's the only one at 1, going back the last 2 years. Ohio State lost. All these teams are losing. Is there anything there they got to look at?
Well, I think you even look at the teams that lost. A lot of them started incredibly slow, including Ohio State. And even Indiana, on their first drive, they come in, go 3 and out, gave up some sacks, Bama moved the ball a little bit. Then they got settled in. But I think the 25, 26-day layoff has been hurting teams. And right now, I think here in about a week or two, they're having the American Football Coaches Association convention. At that point, they said they're going to get out, and the parties involved are going to kind of readdress the calendar from the early signing period to the portal period to ultimately the playoff, and can they get those dates moved up? Now, the problem is here in the next couple years is that you already have your locations locked in for the national championship game, so could you possibly slide those up? Maybe. If not, when you expand to 16 teams, there won't be any buys anyway.
16 or maybe 24. Who knows? They got to figure something out, and they've got to address it because it's a mess. All right, let's talk about the transfer portal. We saw a lot of Buckeyes go into it this year. Did any of that surprise you?
I think it did to a certain degree, but I probably shouldn't have been surprised. With the way they have the revenue sharing now, there's a lot of teams that have a lot of money to spend, and Ohio State has a very talent-rich roster, and so I think we're going to have to understand that this is going to be a new era in college football unless there's some significant changes. The bringing in, recruiting, and development of guys where guys sit 2 years and then play, if they're not on the field by their second year, they're probably going to be looking elsewhere. And unfortunately for Ohio State, you can only allocate resources to so many guys. And so if you're a school like a Wisconsin or a school like a Pitt or whoever, you can pay the 4th receiver at Ohio State more than Ohio State can afford to allocate to that guy, because you still have to make sure that you have a solid roster with top 40 guys that are ready to go.
Jeremiah Smith's coming back. That's huge.
Well, Jeremiah was going to come back. Ohio State was going to do whatever it took to ultimately get him back. And they have guys circled that are must-keeps. Julian's saying, I'm guessing that he's going to be back. That we'll see guys announcing that here over the next couple of days. But yes, it was tough to see some of the guys who I think would be in line for some playing time. But they got huge offers, and they maybe got some guarantees on things, and they were able to go other places. So now it's going to be on these coaches to backfill with maybe some older players from other places.
Not a big surprise. Caleb Downs and Carnell Tate going to the NFL. All right, let's talk coaches. Does Ryan want to hire an offensive coordinator? Does he need to?
I think that he's exploring. If the right guy is out there, I think ultimately Ryan would go. With an offensive coordinator, he's talked about how they could probably handle it still internally and how that would look with Billy Fessler and Tyler Bowen and Keenan, what he's able to do, mixing in with Ryan. But if there's the right guy out there for the right price, I think that they would explore it, but it would have to make sense and fit.
Last thing, Matt Patricia. Does he stay defensive coordinator, or does he go maybe to the NFL?
That's a guy that I hope that he stays. I think everybody hopes that he stays. I'm fairly certain that Ohio State is doing everything they can to make sure they keep him and making sure that the numbers work and everything makes sense for him. I know that he likes it here. I know that his family likes it here. They've moved a lot. They enjoy Columbus, Ohio. But relationships matter. He's got a good one with Ryan, but there are some places in the NFL where he has good relationships, and some of it's going to come down to opportunities. And I mean, he might even be in line for some potential head coach opportunities, which I don't think you could compete with.
All right, he's the great Bobby Carpenter. Check him out daily, Monday through Friday. Morning Juice, 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV Plus. Keep it on 10 TV, 10 TV Plus, and 97.1 The Fan for the best Buckeye coverage there is.